Okay, folks, so I tried to go live today just to kind of talk a little bit about prepping for contingencies, flooding, weather, things of that nature. This is over in Charlestown, Indiana, in a little community called River's Edge. Some of you may have heard of it. It's also next to a place called Bushman's, and Bushman's is used to be a pay lake in Indiana, but now it's here. That place that you see right in front of you, that's a place that I bought a couple years ago, just as a kind of a relaxation. But as you can probably tell now, the water is up. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the contingency measures that you've got to have in place for your home, for your permanent home. Doesn't really matter, but you want to make sure that some of these things are taken care of. Now, as you can probably see underneath here, this is obviously a mobile home, but again, we just kind of set it on the river. But the things that you have to understand is that you have to be ready for when disaster strikes, even in in your personal property. So things like preventive maintenance, like in other words here, and I hope most of you don't have to worry about having your tires to the proper air capacity, but you should definitely make sure that that your smoke alarms are up to par and ready to go. Now, the reason that we're having to do this is it looks like the river is going to crest at about 29.6 feet. And at 25 feet, we're supposed to pull. So let me show you over here. This is the neighbor's deck over here. And as you can see, the neighbor, he's had a bit of an issue with his deck already underwater. And then out there, what that is that's actually a filling station that, believe it or not, is normally connected to a dock. And then, as you can see, there are no docks whatsoever because they're all underwater. Now, as we look down directly from my deck, you can see kind of the water and what's going on as it's slowly creeping up. I mean, yeah, is it nerve-wracking? Of course it is. But that bird cage, or that birdhouse, sorry, usually sits way above what we call the river's edge, which normally about 250 yards out. And I'll send you some before pictures as well, just so you can get an idea. But you can see the barge traffic on the Ohio is coming down. So really, when we talk about contingency plans, the things that we want to remember about contingency plans is a little ounce of prevention can definitely go a long way. So when we talk about it, things like making sure that your smoke detectors are all working, that's a big thing. Now, for those of you that don't have wired smoke detectors in your house, you're going to want to make sure that you have the 10-year lithium battery smoke detector. If you don't have that and you just have the standard 9-volt, make sure you check those annually. I mean, that's very important. That's safety for your family. Things such as a carbon monoxide detector, that can be very, very useful. Put that down around your furnace area, depending on where your furnace is. First floor, basement, wherever it sits. And then, obviously, one of the things that people don't tend to practice a lot anymore, and that is fire prevention or a fire evacuation plan. So if you have a house that's 2 stories, do you know how to get out if a fire broke out on the first floor? Again, those are the things that you want to think about. And again, just a little bit of prevention. So you never have to deal with or are caught off guard with things like rising floodwaters, which, don't get me wrong, we did this, and I'll post some pictures from last year as well, but we did this about a year ago, and it's nothing that you're ever really ready for, but it's something that you definitely need to prepare for, or at least you need to have a contingency plan. So if there are issues, the things that you want to do is make sure that you have a plan in place to check on that, to make sure that you can do what you need to do. And usually with things like, and I know we've had some water right now with flooding, but things like flood, fire, wind, hail damage, do you know who you're going to call? Do you know who you're going to to talk to? Do you know who you're going to ask these questions for? And again, usually it's nothing that comes up over a period of time. It's usually something that pops up right away and very unexpectedly. So it's always good to have some references or people that you know that you can talk to. Obviously, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me, and I'll do what I can with regards to helping you out. And you know, again, working with professionals on a daily basis. Can definitely recommend or refer you to some people that could potentially help you. Yeah, just kind of neat here on the river. But again, you can see that the river is actually flowing pretty good with regards to him pushing up. And the river, where you see down the way, everybody's deck is actually underwater. So we're in the process of getting ready to move the house. Not move from a house, but move the house. And if you've never seen a house move, I'll have some video on it for you. And you'll be able to see exactly some of the the interesting aspects as we've been battling to disconnect water, electrical, sewer lines, all that fun stuff that you, again, have in the contingency plan. There's Bryant. Bryant, say hey.
Hi, how y'all doing?
If you need help, Bryant's your man to call. I got his number. But as you can see down the road here, they are getting ready to move a house, and we'll check that out when it comes up. All right. So here we go, moving a house. Again, if you've never seen a house move, it's rather interesting. Whew. Talk about nerves of steel, huh? Kind of like a parade. I know it's a little crazy, but there's a lot involved. Even with the contingency plan, don't try to go it alone. So something as simple as, you know, do you have a key hidden somewhere, or do your neighbors have a key, just in case you get locked out of your house? Again, you know, it's important because a lot of times, you know, we get into a situation and it happens instantaneously and we don't even think about it. But if you just practice, or you have a plan in place, it'll tend to make those situations a little bit easier on you. So again, just a little ounce of preparation is going to make you feel a lot better in the short term. So let's take a look at it here. He's getting ready to turn a corner, which again is extremely interesting to me, just the time that he's been doing this. And unfortunately, again, anytime that it raises, the river that is, then we need to move these houses. So as he's turning that, let me show you what they do. Is they actually take, and there's 32 trailers that they put up on a lot up here just away from the river, and you can see kind of just the rain's been creating havoc. But getting back to moving the house, it's rather interesting. So he backed in and he turned around, and now he's going to pull the trailer up to the lot. You can see all the people that assisted in the move. So there you have it. If you've never moved a house, now you can say you've seen a house move.